everyone, my name is Nay. I am here today at the New York City Fur March. Because animals are consistently oppressed every second. This is all hidden from the society. We're here today as vegans, as activists, to bring awareness of the cruelty that's happening, that the government, the corporations get away with all the time. We're here to bring awareness and stop this because we don't need to live like this anymore. We live to be in a society where all beings, human or not, are considered equal. And that's what I'm here fighting for today.
All right, welcome one and all to the March for a Fur-Free NYC.
Fur-Free NYC!
You are going to see unity today. You are going to hear from multiple voices coming together for a single issue because that is the New York City we want to see. That is the New York City we demand, and that is the New York City we are going to build together.
My name's Nicole. This is my first event attending the New York City Fur March. We live in a world where we don't take into consideration how we are harming our environment and how we are treating the animals that we say we care so deeply for. And this is just a way of showing what goes on behind the scenes, what people don't want us to see, the murder, the violence, the pain that we cause, not only our animal communities, but our immigrant communities. And we don't need this. We don't need animal agriculture. We need to rise above that to make our world more peaceful, more loving. We don't deserve the treatment we're giving to these sentient beings.
I'm here with my pipes today to make a loud, mournful moan for the animals. I'm not performing for humans. I'm here to cry for the animals and hope that others do too, beyond our group. That's my wish, that we would have a fur-free NYC, but beyond, a fur-free world and a world that respects animals. We're in the state that we're in today because of a worldwide disrespect of animals. And I hope that COVID has wakened some people up to that reality, because it's the main message I think that COVID has given us, that we've disrespected nature. We're in nature's revenge, COVID karma.
Can you smell that? You know what it smells like? It smells like the stench of death as it glooms over the gas chamber full of toxic fumes that mercilessly ends a life of gloom. Their screams and fear is prevalent, and their voice denies of their commodified lives, but to you it remains irrelevant. Viewed as nothing more than an expensive accessory for all to adore, while the horrific process from which fur came remains ignored. You wear death proudly on your backs, or perhaps the trim on your hood of those ridiculous-looking hats. Animals skinned alive for their fur hides and it remains tossed to the side. Another beautiful life denied. After gripping and biting at a wired cage, spinning in circles with piercing eyes full of fear and rage and wallowing around in their own filth, yet he who wears their beautiful skin holds no guilt. This sickening display of humanity has driven these creatures beyond insanity, all in the name of masking your insecurities with blood-stained vanity. Welcome to hell, where animals are violently yanked from cages, to having their skin ripped from their bodies to be left prone and naked, all to be made into the creation for the sake of someone famous. Disregard the barbarity of leg traps for something that's not even a necessity, yet they admire the fur on the backs of heartless celebrities. And there are people that would loudly and proudly defend their choice to wear tortured animal skin. I call it sin. You call it culture to try to lessen the fact that you add to their total oppression. Because what stands between the fox and liberation is undoubtedly a poor taste of a fashion statement. Your disregard for animals is outright blatant. The blood in your hands are of victims that remain faceless. Born to suffer so they die nameless, while you cover their skin and walk around so blissful and brainless. And I say brainless because if sense is what you had, then you'll be able to understand why I'm so goddamn mad. See, to you, the lives of these animals mean nothing at all, except that you get to exploit them at the end of the fall. And that's why I provide speech for the voiceless, for the ones that fall victim to your self-serving choices. I speak for the mink that viciously had his neck snapped, for mother coyotes caught in the cold grip of a steel leg trap, for defenseless rabbits that have their paws turned into souvenirs, keychains, and lucky charms. This shit is disgustingly wrong. This year, you better find an ethical alternative to stay warm. For as long as you order the death of these animals, I can never stay calm. How would you like to have your life rewired? What if it was your skin that was torn from your body until it burned like fire and refashioned for another person to acquire? What if your cries for help was silenced and muffled, and fighting for your life becomes a violent tussle? What if it was your body that was tossed in a bloody pile? You cry for these fur hats to stop living in denial. That fur coat is not what you wear, it's who you wear. Now my question to you is, do you care? The fur trade is the death trade, and you just traded your soul for inhumane customs and traditions of old. The fur trade is the death trade. Hey, this is Stuart Mitchell with Voice for Change. We're here at the Flatiron Building in New York City. We're getting ready to start the Fur-Free NYC March to bring attention and awareness to what happens to animals in the fur industry and why we need to stop this barbaric tradition of skinning animals alive to make fur coats and fur trims for Canada Goose coats and other items that use real fur. This is why we're here, to let New York City know that we have to put an end to this barbaric trade, and it has to start today.
We're here for Fur-Free NYC, a march, a rally, a performance to spread the message that we want New York City to be fur-free. We want to pass legislation in the city council to ban the sale of fur. We want retail stores to stop selling fur. So we want to do all these things, and we're here today unified in this action, coming together as a community to put out this message of compassion for fashion, that nobody needs to wear violence, which is fur. This is the fable behind the Canada Goose label, adorning those puffy black coats with the lush furry collars that cost many hard-earned dollars. The tale of the bloody red coyote hood. A mama coyote and her pups once traveled across the woods, living wild and free, just as you and I would be. One day, the family trampled through snow. Mama took one fateful step, then howled at the bone-breaking snap of the steel-jawed leg trap, clamping her paw in its deadly, sharp-toothed maw. Mama clawed and clawed to free her maimed paw. She even used her jaw and teeth to bite through her flesh until she got too weak. She panted and shrieked, her pups yowled and cried. Mama knew she would die, and her babies would too, if she could not break free. She didn't know what to do. Her heart steeped in sadness, her mind vibrating with madness. She languished for hours, numb with pain, bloody and shaken in her death trap that stole her life and her babies with one snap. Her pups led to their death, filled with fear and empty bellies, too young to survive this hell without their mama. As mama lay trapped, her ears start to twitch. She hears snowy footsteps. Someone has crept up behind her. She raises her head from her icy deathbed. The trapper is here, looming above, to bring the death blow, the final scene in this gruesome show. Mama growls and snaps her teeth as the trapper comes near, looks at her with a sneer. Then he stands on her body in heavy black boots to suffocate her lungs and squeeze out her life, but not damage her pelt. After all, she is only worth what her skin equals in dollars to make those luxurious Canada Goose coat collars. Once she shudders her last breath, he throws her lifeless corpse over his back like a sack and trudges back through the snow, past the den where those pups are huddled together for warmth, filled with fright,
not likely to survive many more nights. The trapper will rip off Mama's skin tonight, hang her out to dry. Soon she will be nothing more than a piece of fur circling a hood, but her soul will linger on in this world, haunt and whisper into the ear of every human who wears a piece of her around their neck. What big ears you have, my dear, she will murmur to them. The better to hear my howls of agony and the death cries of my pups who starved in their den. For your bloody red coyote hood. What big eyes you have, my dear. Better to see my fur being ripped from my body for your bloody red coyote hood. What big teeth you have, my dear. The better to taste my blood that was spilled in your name. May my blood be painted on your lips and face. May you hear the droplets spilling as you try to sleep in peace. A peace I will never know because I died in the woods for your bloody red coyote hood.
Here to continue demonstrating to the general public that fur is absolutely unnecessary, unethical. No animal should be skinned alive and tortured just to be used as a fashion accessory. It's 2021. We got to stop that.
Protesting against the fur because it's very cruel and it's unnecessary because there's so many things that you can wear that will keep you warm in the winter and you don't need to wear the skins of dead animals. Plus the fact that to get the fur, they skin the animal while it's still alive. This is like really horrible. They have to suffer greatly just for something you don't really need in the first place.
Fur is not fashion! Animal fur is not fashion! The fur trade is alive!
I'm here from Revolution Philadelphia, and we are here to support all of our activist friends from New York City. And they're marching, and we are marching with them in support of banning fur in New York City because fur is really vile. It's a vile industry that causes a lot of suffering to animals, and at this stage, we really don't need to kill animals to make clothing for us. There are so many other options. That's why we are here.
My name is Tiffany. I'm from Revolution Philadelphia, and I'm here today representing Philadelphia on behalf of the animals in the fur trade. And I'm wearing this jacket. It's from Alpine North. It is the vegan version of Canada Goose. So I wear this to represent that you can still be fashionable and warm without killing animals. Thank you.
Because it's your money! Your greed! Your silence! Their blood! Their screams!
Animals are our friends. Their skin is for them. Their skin is not for exploit. They're not for us to use. They feel pain like us. They're living, sentient, conscious beings. Leave the animals alone. You don't have to love animals to understand their basic right to sovereignty and live a life of freedom and peace. Don't hurt them. Don't wear their skin. There's plenty of alternatives. So for Free New York City, we're out here to go to Canadian Goose and represent for the animals. Stop wearing fur. Raise awareness, raise our voice for the animals.
Their screams! More power! Fur trade, step trade! Fur trade, step trade!
We're here fighting as always, New York City and the world. Please get this message across. Do not wear fur and go vegan.
I'm here to help people realize that we don't need fur in the 21st century. It's not like we're starving in the woods and using all the animal parts. We're actually going out and raising these animals in cages and anally electrocuting them and ripping their fur off while they're still alive. And it's nowhere like it used to be in our distant past or in distant areas from New York City also. If you're in the city, you don't need it. You don't need it, and it is super cruel. So go fur free, please.
I'm here for the march against the use of fur. It's a cruel and inhumane industry. People seem to think that wearing these animal products on their body is a sign of fashion, a sign of being better than someone else, when you're just exploiting another living being to look good. It's not even really serving a purpose. It's not really even keeping you warm. It's just not worth all the suffering that it contributes to.
Their body, not ours. Their life, not ours. Their family.
I'm here because I believe that we don't need fur to survive while animals do, and it's pointlessly cruel to slaughter them for a fashion statement.
I made the trip back to New York today because I thought that this was a really important event to join, and everybody's getting together, all these different groups, to speak up on behalf of over 100 million animals every year that are murdered for their skins. And I think it's really important that we're here today to speak up for them.
This is what community looks like.
I'm ready to see and hear so much more of all of you here today, coming out to honor the millions of lives that are stolen each and every year for nothing more than a garment to be hung on a hanger to end up on a hood, having their lives stripped from them. Animal rebellion that is here. We have night class. We have the March of Silence. We have Voice for Change. We have Voters for Animal Rights. We have the Vegan Activist Alliance. We welcome Revolution Philadelphia. We have a beautiful opportunity here today, my comrades, to redefine what it means to work with one another. Our ultimate message here today is to bring and amplify that voice for these animals who have their lives stolen. If you are holding a Fur-Free NYC sign right now, on the back of it you will also notice a QR code, which when scanned will lead you directly to the website furfreenyc.com/email, which is an opportunity to directly message your city council representative. There are many people who do not think that animal rights is a political issue. I will tell you right now, the profiteers of animal exploitation are very political. We have an obligation, if you are fighting for animal rights, to get political. Today is about amplifying all types of voices, different styles, and I cannot wait to hear your love and your support for Voice for Change. Please give it up for Voice for Change.
This is Stuart Mitchell for Voice for Change. Fur has to go. We're trying to push a fur-free NYC. This is the first step with a very loud message to the fur industry that they're not wanting here in New York City anymore. They have to go. Their time is up, and it starts today. Thank you.
Fur-free NYC!
My name is Devin Kelly. Honored to be here today. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm actually reading a poem that was contributed by Michelle Hobb from Melbourne, Australia. I'm fluffy and soft and cute and sweet, but you still kill me to wear on your feet. My face is the kind you want to kiss, yet you'll rip out my fur for your eyelids. The fur on my back you can't wait to stroke, but you kill me anyway just for a coat. You call me beautiful when I'm seen in the wild, but dead you will wear me and call it your style. You say you love animals with a great passion, but ignore all the blood when you wear me for fashion. I wasn't born just for you to exploit, so keep fur off your body. You can definitely avoid. I am not yours to torture and kill, so wear fall fur and then we can chill.
Today, we are gathered in the name of compassion to stomp out the use of fur as a symbol of fashion, and we will do it with the utmost of passion. But before we begin, we must hear the animal's perspective, if we hope to be in the slightest bit effective. On a cold winter day, I went to the woods for a walk, to get away from all this silly human talk. Before long, I stumbled upon a stream. I lay down to rest, and found myself in a dream. Feeling the winter chill upon me, it was soon to be night. Just then, a shadowy figure emerged from the dark. What a fright. It was a beautiful brown fox, his fur glowing in the moon's light. I had to ask him quick, before he ran out of sight. Hello, Mr. Fox, what a lovely coat you're wearing. Where can I get one of those? Would you mind sharing? Mr. Fox sat still a moment, then started declaring, compassion is in fashion. Taking my fur would be rather daring. With that, he hurried away, leaving me with time to ponder. For a few more minutes in the woods, I decided to wander. Before long, I heard a sound that is well known. A coyote howling at the moon in the most perfect tone. Hello, Mr. Coyote. What a lovely coat under the dark night sky. Where can I get one of those? I would surely like to buy. Mr. Coyote sat still a moment, then looked me straight in the eye. The fur trade is a lie. How many animals have to die? With that, he hurried away, leaving me with time to ponder. For a few more minutes in the woods, I decided to wander. I was convinced that I traveled this path alone, But in the light of the moon, my fuzzy friend was shown. Hello, Mr. Mink. What a lovely coat you have on today. Where can I get one of those, if I may? Mr. Mink sat still a moment, then said with dismay, my coat is mine and mine alone. It is for me to display. With that, he hurried away, leaving me with time to ponder. For a few more minutes in the woods, I decided to wander.
Ethically sourced fur, more like forced into submission, bludgeoned beyond recognition, while still bearing full cognition, skinned alive, gassed and killed by anal electrocution, all in the guise of fashion and tradition. Over 100 million animals every year to which these unforgivable acts are committed. Ethical label washing tries to deny their agony, their screams, their cries. Found on runways, clothing racks, fur vaults, and closets, their torment and anguish shown proudly. Brutalized for coats, collars, slippers, and hats, reduced to mere items for purchase. How can we in good conscience still condone this?
I'm here because we are fighting for animals, both human and non-human. It is absolutely arrogant and despicable and unforgivable of humans to destroy the lives of innocent sentient beings for the sake of fashion. It is also equally despicable that we force humans to do this to non-humans. No one wants this type of work. No one wants to skin anyone alive or slit their throat, especially when there are peaceful jobs available. So we are here to speak up for the non-humans that we eat, wear, and destroy every second, every day, just for our trivial choices. So please don't wear animals, please don't eat them, don't hurt them, and that's it.
What do we want? Animal liberation! What do we want now?
My name is Kirsten. Thank you all for coming. I'm here to introduce our next speaker. I found him randomly on Instagram. I don't even know how it happened, but it was certainly serendipitous. I learned that he was vegan. I learned that he was on the right side of all issues that I care about, human and non-human. And then I realized he was running for city council in my district, District 5 in Manhattan, and I knew I had to help this person win. After banning foie gras, after all the other animal bills that we got passed, I was enthusiastic that we could get other things done. Obviously, the fur ban didn't happen, and I thought, how do we make that happen? We get more people who care about this issue in office. Chris Sosa is someone who cares about animals deeply. I adore him. I am so glad to have been working with him for the past 10 months. Chris, come over and tell the people who you are.
Hi everybody, my name is Chris Sosa. I'm running for New York City Council District 5. I've been an ethical vegan since I was 16 years old. I am here for one reason, because I believe that every conscious being in our world has moral value. That should impact what we wear, what we eat, what we consider to be entertainment. No life is property. Right now, we're dealing with a council that will pump their fist and sign a pledge for you, but they're not going to cast their vote. We need people in office who actually believe in the value of animals. Your march needs to begin in the street and end in City Hall. That is why I am here. Thank you all for your tireless advocacy. I know it's not easy taking positions that can be found unrealistic by larger political forces. But the reason that we keep seeing these numbers increase over time, the reason this march gets bigger over time, is because more people are waking up to the fact that all conscious beings are worthy of our moral consideration, and that a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I am here to take that fight into City Hall, but first I'm going to need the help of animal advocates like you to ensure that we can overcome forces that are bigger than us. Because together, we can achieve this. The only thing standing between a fur ban in New York City and the industry itself is you. So let's do it Let's win, and let's go into 2021 ready for this ban to pass in 2022. We can do it. Let's get to work.
All right. Thank you all so much for your patience. I know it's cold, but we all know that nothing is colder than apathy. And as you see looking around right now, I am not looking at any apathetic people. I am looking at people who are ready to go to battle. I am looking at people who are ready to lose their breath for those who have had theirs stolen. Our next part of this monster procession is going to be a silent funeral procession. We are out here today to make the declaration, because maybe it hasn't been heard by every furrier still in the fur district, that it has not been heard by these massive corporations. I think it's okay to take the animals' lives for their skin on their back. We're going to march in silence, and during that time I ask that you be reflective of the millions of lives that have not had such a procession, that have not had a funeral, because their lives were never thought to be of importance to begin with beyond their stolen body parts. We are here to grant them the respect that was robbed of them. And at that point, when the cue is given, and you will know when that cue is given, the streets will hear us.
Your call! Your silence! Your call! Your blood! Your call! Their scream! Your call! Blood! Blood! Blood on your hands! Blood! Blood! Blood on your hands! Fur is not fashion! Fur is not compassion!
I'm here because I didn't know people were still wearing fur in 2020 and beyond until I became vegan, and then I noticed Canada Goose everywhere I went after that. And I used to think that fur protests weren't necessary because I thought no one was still doing this. But now I understand it's everywhere, especially in New York City. And it makes me really mad, and I just want to make it stop.